Our mics are on. And welcome. Let me make sure I'm muted because every time I forget. Okay, I am muted. Nice. I can't hear myself echo. Welcome to the LTA Report. We're finally back. I was out for a while, and I'm not out anymore, as you've seen with like the 10 interviews I uploaded so far. And I still have, I think, like 50, like I have what 11 more. I don't think I'm uploading all of them, but anyways, let's just get right into it. We saw C9 play against Team Liquid. We saw C9 play against FlyQuest. We saw them gap Team Liquid like completely and entirely. We saw them beat FlyQuest. It was a closer game for sure. But they still won. They absolutely destroyed Lion. Like, man, what they did to Lion was illegal. Um, C9's looking good, man. How do you feel about your team?
I'm not unclenching yet. As like that is a common like C9 like joke we make in the fan base is like don't unclench until you've won. So I'm definitely as much as we're looking pretty insane, and I didn't foresee us like probably looking this clean, but I always thought there was going to be an evolution through like from winter to spring and then from spring to summer. But we genuinely look like contenders right now, and like that's all we really asked for of this team, because I think there was a lot that was at the start. They thought like, oh, why are we picking up Loki instead of Saint? Um, like why are we trying to just bring back the glory days of having Sven's Vulcan? But I mean I can't find a support at the moment that's better than Vulcan. Like he's looked insane. Like, him and Blabber and just the synergy Blabber finally has with laners is why I kept telling people you either have to invest in laners that play around him, or you need a different jungler. And like we're finally seeing like the fruits of that labor with like just how clean Loki's looking with the team. I think it's looking a lot better, like from what we saw in winter, where it was a little shaky. But outside of the Rise game, like at the start, I haven't really found like many flaws, and his Azir is nuts. So like that's like I want to see us now. What we're gonna pick now that's probably gonna be a permaban.
It's also fearless, so I mean, even if he gets it once or the enemy
True.
team gets it, like you might just not play it in the series because you have freaking like quad picking it. Or who are you guys playing? You're playing DSG, so maybe who's the mid laner? Abadage?
I
Yes.
mean, I'm not being funny. We can pick anything, and we're winning that series. Like
They
it's
beat
a
Team
huddle
Liquid. I
life.
don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, at the moment, it's not that hard. Like, until Spawn
Oh,
comes
come
in, it's
on.
not that hard, dude. They're just mid without Spawn. Like we have the tapes of like earlier LTA reports where I said this team is not going to be that good when Spawn's not in. Like people don't really understand the true value of like the type of coach that he is. Like it's evident as soon as he's not there to be like that authority figure. This team's just it seems just like third, fourth.
I don't know if I'm a hater or what, but I would put money that even if Spawn was there, the team would be struggling. I think it's a team wide thing. I think the meta changing has really affected them, and I think they're just like some of their players are straight up slumping. Like Impact
I think
is
they're
not going to
cooking too
play
much.
better. What?
I said I think they're trying to cook too much with all these like trials going on as well. I don't think it's having the effect of like what FlyQuest are like long term planning to do
I mean,
with
look, Impact is playing so poorly. He's admitted multiple times, I'm playing really poorly. I'm making so many mistakes that I don't usually make. What is Spawn being there or not being there going to change? I don't know. I don't buy it. I really don't. I think, like, if it's an issue of, like, macro, that's one thing. But if you're getting gapped in lane by Castle, like, come on. That's Spawn isn't going to fix that for
I'll
you.
tell you with like Calcido, a lot of top laners do outside of Whippo, a lot of top laners do respect him as like quite a solid player.
It's Impact though. This guy was MVP last year. It's not Sniper. It's not this
Sure,
young
sure.
rookie. It's not Surdy. Sorry, I'm not Sniper. It's not Surdy. It's this freaking Impact, man. This guy's a world champ. Like obviously it's a while ago, but he made it to MSI final. Like this guy has consistently been at the top, and he's also consistently been at the bottom. Like this is How many times has he finished ninth? Twice? Yeah, he's finished ninth twice after having a phenomenal split. He won the split in 2029 summer, 2020 spring, ninth. He was, did he make it to, no, he lost to Golden Guard. He was third on FlyQuest in 2023 spring, and then a summer, again, he finishes ninth. Like, when things go bad, they go bad.
Yeah, I just as far as like TL goes, until we see the complete fall off, I will always put that value in like when spawns there. And even like C9 players were kind of like jokingly alluding to it is like don't get cocky. TL will still win the split. Like I think until we start seeing that hard fall off, I'm going to have a little faith that there'll be a competent team. Um, and that doesn't mean like if TL go internationally, I'm gonna be really upset because I don't think they're good.
What do you mean?
Like
It's only
I
going to be
don't
one of our
think
teams going to Oh, wait. We only have one NA team going to MSI.
like, and I mean, I don't think what going to the Esports World Cup is going to help that team either. If I'm being completely honest, like if they finish second, but
Honestly, I
I
don't.
think that's the problem with like domestically. It wouldn't like it. Nothing would surprise me. Like if like Spawn comes back in, they'll sharpen it up. Best of fives, maybe a like different kettle of fish, but I think that's now the challenge that C9 and 100 Thieves need to overcome is they need to if you think FlyQuest and TL aren't that good anymore, which I think is kind of evident that they're not what they once were like a couple of splits ago. Like you need to now get over this duck of beating them in best of fives. Because I'd like to see C9 now step up to at least get finals. Like I can't go for another split of okay, you look good, but then you fail at the best of five to FlyQuest or TL.
Or
I think
100.
FlyQuest is fine. It's just
They haven't beat 100 since they lost to them in finals. Or not in finals, but in like third place match.
it's it's a weird one with like I objectively look at like you even go across the board of players. Like it's you can debate like River and Blabber. I'm taking Blabber. I'm sorry. Like Quid by far a lot better than Loki. It's this guy is absurd. But like yeah, I would take our players. Like we look so much cleaner. We look like in every stage of the game. I think they have like creative fights, but I call them the noisy neighbors, like 100 Thieves. They're like we both have the same objective of we want to beat FlyQuest and TL, and then we will like probably lose to one of them and have to like face each other. But we'll see how TL look in this next stage.
Yeah, I mean that is how they beat you guys. Like if you remember, it was like obviously it was way back in week 1. You guys look a lot cleaner, but it was like you guys were having a lead, you were like pushing the lead. You got to pick on I think their support if I'm not mistaken, and then like River just sneaks in no way like you guys really didn't know they win a 4v5. Like that's the thing with 100 Thieves. It's like is their early game great? Not really. Is their late game great? Not really. Is their mid game great? Yeah, they just find fights that you don't expect. Like they'll be down a bunch of gold,
Hmm.
except against Team Liquid. Like they can't do that. But they'll go down. It doesn't matter. They'll be up in gold. It doesn't matter. They can throw. They're just like they find angles, and that's what makes them really scary. Like you lose that game when you're up like 2-3 thousand gold, and all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself like, what the hell? Like maybe this composition is just unplayable. Maybe like it doesn't matter if we're up or down goal, and like that gets into the mental of the players. But I do think like Cloud9 is the team to beat right now. I think even you guys
Mm.
have like your top laner is insane. Your top laner is like making a case for being the best top laner this split, and I think it's not even close right now. Some could
Hmm.
argue Bwipo, but I think like what I'm impressed about Thanatos is he was really good at laning last split or last year. And then he comes in this year and he's still really good at laning and he fixed like 90% of the things that we were like complaining about. The guy looked so lost in mid to late game. And now he's like pushing lanes, moving first, TPing when he needs to in like actually good spots. Like his TPs last year were so bad. It was like game losing. And now he's just like
Hmm.
constantly with the team. The other thing that I noticed is like Vulcan has unleashed, like Vulcan Blabber have kind of unleashed Thanatos because they're constantly like hovering his side. whereas we didn't see that last year. Last year, like it's almost like they're forcing Thanatos to like play with them and then use his gold lead, his advantage, his mechanics, which is really nice. Like the way they play the entire map is so nice and it's definitely unleashed both Loki and Thanatos. And like this team is looking scary. Like I don't care who you are, 100 Thieves, like FlyQuest, Team Liquid. If you're playing against Cloud9, you're sweating. And on the topic of
It's the
Team Liquid,
fundamentals for me that's like I think it's the fundamentals for me that I'm like so impressed by.
mhm,
It's because it looks like every single player, coach, they're all in a line with the vision they have for this team. Like I said coming into the year, Sven is going to be our impact, where this guy's just put on a defensive AD carry that's going to scale, let Vulcan roam around, do his thing, and get the solo laners ahead. Like, and you always hear like Dom say, "Well, we've got two Korean import solo laners, so like, of course we're gonna like hyper focus them." And you can tell that even like in just Blabber's picks, like he ain't playing for himself. He's playing to facilitate these two laners that are absolutely making the most of like the stuff he's given them.
first pick Vi every game. I can't stand it, man. Please stop playing freaking Vi. It's working because you guys are just better, but like this champion doesn't work half the time, man. It's so bad.
A lot of his ults are like on the wrong person. So like I don't know if you remember like the in the TL the final fight when they were defending their um
Nexus.
like their bottom lane tower. Like
Oh, before yeah.
he ulted the Varus instead of ulting Bwipo. Like if you just ult Bwipo, he just gets one shot and like the thing is if you want to talk about like Phantos quickly, he's now just picking the picks that completely nullify like before if TL picked like a Scion, we're screwed because we don't know how to play into a Scion and like Impact kind of take like we saw it last year. I think it was Impact that picked Scion into us a couple of games and we just absolutely had no idea how to play against it. And I think like Dom was saying he feels like Thanatos is the only player that knows like how to play like the Embessa properly, the Gwen properly, like with the creative like summoners.
Yeah.
Because he's saying like if you don't pick like a barrier or exhaust with no flash, no TP, you're kind of just like that lane's screwed. I like the Gwen for me still left to be desired because I'm not just comfortable gracefully losing the lane to begin with. Because like even against Licorice and like in his rumble, he was down like 2 levels, and like I don't think a player like Bwipo or even Impact to some degree will allow you to get away with that. It's looking good though, man. It's looking. It's just the fundamentals and the drafting feels nice at the moment. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the team knows exactly what they want to play, and it can only get better. I think as soon as you go into the one grubs phase, I think Phantos is going to be unlocked even more. Um, so
I don't know.
I'm
I don't.
hopeful.
I actually don't know how the meta is gonna change. I'm like gonna save my opinion till I see it. Like play the games myself, you know.
Yeah, so
On Team Liquid's side, though, I in my interview with Impact, he mentioned I asked him like, "What do you think are the top teams right now?" And he was like, "Or who do you think is like 1 through 3?" And he was like, "Who knows?" Like one day, or no, sorry, not 1 through 3. Where would you rank yourself? And he was like, I don't know. One week we could literally be like losing to DSG, and the next week we could actually just be the best team. We're very, very inconsistent. We have like our ups and downs, and like if you catch us on a good day, we're gonna beat you. If you catch us on a bad day, we're gonna even if you try not to beat us, we're gonna int. So it was interesting to see how like he knows that it's not all over, right? Like there's a little bit of inconsistency, but like they can get through it. He's not panicking. I don't think the Team Liquid members are panicking. I talked to Umti. I don't think I'm gonna upload that interview just because he was like, Umti. I used to interview him after losses, and he'd be so happy, like just cheerful, like chilling. I
mhm.
caught him after a win where he absolutely hyper carried, and he was like so sad and depressed. And I was like, oh my god, this is a very different Umti. He was playing the Fury, and he was like completely unleashed. And I was just like, okay, I don't know like what to say
something
about this
feels
team.
off.
What?
And I don't know if it's I said something feels off, and I don't know if it's because like my team's just so good right now that like any team feels like a hot piece of crap. But like I didn't feel like in the FlyQuest game. I felt like I I don't like using this word, but like the aura of this team, like it still felt like FlyQuest, even if we like in the end pretty comfortably won. In TL, it just felt flat, like from the first second of the game. Like they just didn't do anything. They couldn't really get going. Auntie had a creative like pick onto us, but they just didn't do anything.
I agree. It feels like one of their engines is off. Like if it's a plane, like one of their engines is clearly malfunctioning, and once they figure that out, if they figure that out, they're going to be firing on all cylinders. But until that happens, like it's kind of hard to believe. Which is funny because they won the split, even though like both their engines were not working and their freaking like taillights were out and the window cracked, and then they still won the split. But they can do it. Like I'm not gonna. They are the reigning champs, same roster still, even if internally they're doing tryouts. Like you have to give them that respect.
Yeah, I think it's just so hard with best of ones as well. Um, I'm so glad we never have to see them again for the rest of the year, or
For now, who
at
knows?
least
They might change
potentially.
the format again. You never know.
Uh, I hope not. Though,
I hope
to
not
be honest,
either.
I wasn't completely sold on this like the summer split format to begin with, but hey ho.
I actually think the summer split
Um,
format is going to be fun. I think the spring, like I was not happy about spring, and then they were like, okay, we're only going to have one round robin, like 3 weeks of best of ones. I was like, okay, it's a fine compromise, but I still would have preferred just like best of threes from the very beginning. But I don't think that's like a hot take or anything.
no. um, yeah, like we said, something just feels completely off, and like I feel for Jon because I feel he's still performing at like a pretty high level. I know someone on Holland League made like the take of like their own fraud watch, but like if you slide this dude into C9 right now, they're still firing like just as good, maybe even better.
Yeah, actually, talk about that because that is one of our topics. We can just like go back and forth between topics. But Masu and Yan are frauds. Like what? I didn't watch Hotline League. I haven't watched it in a few weeks. Honestly, more than a few weeks. But what exactly was his argument? Why does he think Masu and Yan are frauds?
It's just like a combination of things, but like the main center was like just overrated and like they're not performing as well, and like I think it's just hard because like two of the more like better performing teams like this year with like Cena and 100 Thieves have had pretty good bot lanes. Like Sven and Vulcan looked like, very very good. FBI and Ayla, although like at times they can get bounced in lane sometimes, but like come team fights they're phenomenal. Like FBI is I always get confused. I look at his damage per minute and it's like 200 above any AD carry in the league. It's absurd how much damage this guy puts out in fights.
You would think that Quid is like doing the majority of the damage or something, but you look at it, it's like not really. Quid, I think, has like one of the lowest damage share percentages of a mid laner, like the top four mid laners, just because like FBI is like pumping damage.
Mm. I don't agree with the take though that they're on fraud watch. Like, if I want to speak about it from like a rival like perspective, so like when my team have played both FlyQuest and TL, like sure this year I haven't felt even the slightest like scared. The only time I thought this team is really annoying was actually the TL series where Yon was just playing out of his skin, and even in the game we won, we were obliterating the entire map, but Yon was just popping off on Zeri and like just edging TL to like what could have been a 2-0, but he was the only player like putting in work that series.
Now, this might be a
So
little bit
like
of a hot take. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying like from like a fan perspective, playing against these teams, like yes, I haven't felt their bottom lanes have been as scary as like they have been in the past, but I don't think it's been really on like the AD carries.
I think they're both playing amazing. I actually still think that Masu is better than Yon. Like, I think this guy is absolutely insane. His movements, his confidence, like, I'm not joking when I say this guy reminds me of Ruler in 2023, like peak Ruler. This guy's just like not burning summoners, like he's dodging all these spells left and right, hitting every single one of his spells. It's such a like it's like poetry in motion, man. The guy just knows what he's doing, where he's doing. Every click is like accounted for. It is so hard to get on him. You think you're on him, and it's like he lives every single time. This guy is so freaking good. Now, Jan has more highlighty plays because like he has to be the one up front, going in on the Zeri, going in on the Kalista, making the plays happen because his team is kind of collapsing around him. But then with FlyQuest, it's like everybody's trying to kill Masu, and they're just not able to because Masu's always at the right place. He's always at the right time. His decision making for a rookie, like this guy has played half the time Jan has, and the decision making of like knowing when to go in, when to go out, like just it's so incredible to watch. People are forgetting this guy has played 3 splits. This guy is not
Mm,
like Yana has been playing since 2022, right? That's when Tactical left. Or
yeah,
no, maybe
I just
2023.
feel
Either way,
with
like he's been playing at least this is at least his 3rd year. My man
I just feel
Masu
like
hasn't even played a
Muscle
year
was
and a
also
half.
more of a. I feel like Muscle as well has always been more of like a calmer character as well. Whereas like Yon, I think there is more emotion to his game, and like it's evident in the way they play. Like, and I was like thinking about this today actually. Like when Sven does hang it up, what would be like? Because nothing else on the roster would change, but like who would be that like ideal Sven replacement? And I would pick Mosu. Like that guy would just fit in like a glove. Like just being able to just quietly play the 1v2 weak side, and then as soon as you come to team fights, just wreck shit up.
If I'm FlyQuest, unless I'm getting like a Smash esque level of AD carry, I am never letting go of Masu. Like
Yeah.
maybe inspired like freaking decides to leave because his contract ends. I understand losing inspired, like it's gonna hurt a lot, but I can see it happening. I can see a Fnatic or G2 putting a really good bid. Maybe not Fnatic because they have Razork, but maybe G2 are like, screw the Skumon. Like, we want to win now. We want to win Worlds. We don't think like the game's gonna last. I don't know. Like they put an insane bid. FlyQuest can't match. Like I can see that
Apparently,
happening.
like I can't verify this, but apparently Inspired thinks Skumon's better than Blabber.
I don't know. I don't hear that, but like
Apparently it was
Skumand
said
is
something.
good. He
I
just
can't
didn't
verify
look
that.
very
So
good at finals, but he's playing well. I don't know that he's better than Blabber to be honest, but especially because he's playing with freaking G2. But
I don't know, man. Like, if I want to put on my fan hat, this guy only plays fucking Ivan when he plays against C9. That kind of tells you everything you need to know about that 1v1 matchup.
dude, he okay. This year, sure. Last year, this guy stomped Blabber every single time they
Dude,
met.
no, no,
Even
no,
in the
no, dude.
games they
In the
lost, he just like
no, no,
absolutely embarrassed
in
Blabber.
in that 3-1,
Uh
like
huh.
the 3-1 where they picked Ivan like a billion times. Blabber actually bitch slapped him around, but like
Wait,
the
which
team's
3-1
just
are you talking about?
it's the one where they picked. I think it was it. Maybe I'm thinking of another
I
series,
think
but
you're
I
confusing when
know.
Blabber was picking Ivern against 100 Thieves and they lost 3-1.
No, no, no. FlyQuest are doing
FlyQuest
their
3
Ivan
rode them.
strat. Doesn't seem like they fit 3 but even then, like
Oh,
in
it
the
was 3-1
games,
because they won
Lava
game
was
2. That's right. They won game 2 and it was like they won game 1 because FlyQuest tried to end and they weren't able to and they lost the first game and then they beat them the other games. Yeah, yeah. They had like a
mm,
huge leads game
like
1 and 2.
Lava was really outperforming in the jungle, but like
They had different roles. Like they
I
definitely had
I I
different
like
roles.
I like having Inspired in the league because it gives Blubber a challenge. Like to always for someone to step up to because um I do believe historically River doesn't perform well in big games. outside of the C9 series, ironically.
It's funny. I asked him about losing to C9 finals and Golden Guardians. He was like, "That was completely and entirely on me. I like completely trolled those games. If I could go back, I would win. Like we would win the finals. Like that was my best shot."
I mean, like, not gonna lie, we should have been down 0-2 in that series.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, you're like, that is another topic for maybe another day. Like, what do you do with River? Because he is so good, like, regular season, like, up until you have, like, the pinnacle game that you need him to show up on. Like, what do you do with a player like that?
I mean, that's what people asked about Double Lift, right? Like he could never even make it to the finals. Like he was the best AD carry, but
I
could
think
never make it to
I
the
think you
finals.
just
And then
keep that faith until like until you can't go no further. Like if you're making like multiple finals in a row and then this guy's just shit in the bed, then yeah. But
yeah, I'm not worried about that. Like I said, with Double Lift, like it was literally a meme up until the end of season 5. Double Lift's trophy room. I was part of that subreddit because he was so cocky and he just like was losing like he'd never even made it. Like he got reverse swept to not make it into the finals. Doesn't make it to the finals, even though he's like a really good AD carry, but he just wasn't able to do it. And then now he's the winningest person like in NA still, and he
mhm.
hasn't played 4 out of the past 5 years. Like, yeah, it happens. Also, River is a 3-time champion, so like, sure, it wasn't in like NA,
3 time. Oh,
but
okay.
he won
I
PC.
was
Is
gonna
it
say
3
like
times or twice? He won 2020, like the what's it called? The COVID year, right? He won 2020 both times. No, not both times. He won the spring because that's when MSI was canceled, and then he made it to War MSI the year after. So he's two-time champion. I'm sorry, he won twice, or was it 3 times? Because we saw them at Worlds, right, in
like
2021.
like
Yeah, he won 3 times.
like while like it's good and obviously like those PSG teams were like respectable and like the LMS teams were respectable like when they did do internationally like I haven't seen him really perform in massive games in NA. Like I can only go off of like what we're seeing.
I mean, did you not watch
Like
against Cloud9 last year in summer?
no, I said like no, I
Those are
said
really
like
big games.
ironic.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
you
no,
did
no,
say
no.
that. You did say,
You
yeah.
listen. Yeah, I said like outside of C9, how many like massive games does like River perform in? Like in playoffs, I mean. Like you're
Against
starting to,
FlyQuest,
like
he performed really well against FlyQuest. In
hmm.
2023's spring when they made it to finals, like he was
I think it's just like
incredible.
wildly inconsistent though. Like
I will
before,
agree with that. He
like
has choked more often than he has performed. I'll give you that.
it's like I'm starting to get to the stage of like Blabber to some like degree. Like we're slowly losing that like we can consistently beat top teams in playoffs because like we haven't gone to an international event in quite some time. Like M&S was on our roster the last time we made
Damn,
an international event,
it's been a year and a half. Yeah.
and like while that doesn't sound like that may sound like spoilt because some teams have never gone internationally and like oh I'm only complaining because it's only been like a year, but like for an organization like you kind of need to like top blabber as well. You need to get back there.
I mean, I agree. I think this is like their best shot, but I think like River can definitely break that mold that he's like, oh, he's a choker. I don't
I don't know.
think that's necessarily what like it's not that he doesn't perform in high stake games. It's just
It's just too much of a variety for it to like. You need to kind of have like a more consistent basis of like performance.
like in high pressure games. Sure, I'll give you that. I think
No, because
I'll
this
give you
guy's
that.
more than good. Like the thing is, he's more than good enough to like put these teams to the sword. Like River and Quid should be absolutely. Well,
Yeah, River and Quid should be.
I like River and Quid. Like they're such a good duo when they're in sync and they're on it, and like you just kind of want to see that more against like the big teams. And like I'm excited to see how 100 Thieves do because like sure they haven't looked the best in the best of ones, but like they need to again topple FlyQuest in my opinion because like if this trajectory that like other fans like David is saying like they want to get to like the one, like you need to start showing us like you're now going to do it on a consistent basis. Because this is what's like annoyed me about C9 for the past like year and a half. Okay, we can beat TL, Fly, 100 of, well, maybe not 100 as much, but like you beat the top teams in the regular season, but then now you've got to like now you're going to do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the focus has been on Cloud9 and Team Liquid because Cloud9's doing great and Team Liquid's not doing great, even though they're the reigning champs. FlyQuest, I have a really solid shot at winning it all. Like, I know they say that there are better best of one teams, but come to best of three, like, and best of fives, I don't know. This team is like really scary. From draft
I
to
think
begin with, like they're open to playing a bunch of stuff. And then just like mechanically, you can't guarantee you're going to be able to like out jungle inspired or you're going to be able to like out hands their quad and Masu. Like those two are incredibly strong players. I think it's
I
like
think
scary.
I think if C9 are playing to the correct conditions, like they get their bread and butter like draft, and what I mean by that is like how does the draft work fundamentally? Like if the draft can work fundamentally to how C9 have been playing, the only team I think beats them in that like kind of form is FlyQuest. Because like you felt in the game, like it ended, it looked like a stomp in the end. That game was close
If it's a
up
best of
until
three, like
we
I wouldn't be surprised if FlyQuest ended up like winning games 2 and 3.
we flipped the switch, and I think it's more showing that C9 is rising to that level rather than like FlyQuest is stagnating. Like they still went was it 6-1? They still tied C9 in their record,
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't know if people are saying FlyQuest are kind of falling off. They're not. Are they as dominant as they once were? No, but I in NA I'm completely fine with the level they're at. I think FlyQuest kind of just like trolled their like they were really banking on getting Tristana. I felt in that game, and then C9 like banned it away, and I felt like they were trying to pivot to like a double AEC. I just don't think Lucian worked
They needed an AD mid. Yeah, you're right. Like maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure.
because
Maybe
we
they
banned
planned
Tristana on we banned Tristana in the
on 4 or
first
5.
rotation when they were trying to set up for like the Tristana flex,
I mean, here's the
and
thing:
then
the rest of the year could just be fearless. So like that situation could never happen to them again. That's what I was saying. If it went game 2, maybe they don't make that mistake. And like,
one thing that has me confident for C9 like into FlyQuest is we're starting to consistently show that we're getting the better of them in draft. Like in that one specifically, we're starting to now we're showing our playbook. Now it's on FlyQuest to like adapt to that because like we did blow open the whole like Ivan comp. Like I'm no longer scared when they're picking Ivan
yeah,
into
you beat it
us.
twice already. So
Mm.
so here's
And like the Galio comp they were running. Yeah, go on, sorry.
here's the thing: the game is about to change in a couple weeks, like
Mm-hmm.
big time. All of what we said could completely get flipped on its head. 100 Thieves could start like being the worst team because there's less objectives. They could become the best team because they're not fighting as much and all of a sudden they're better. Like I am very frustrated with the fact that we are just completely and entirely flipping the game on its head in the middle of the split. Just wait a couple extra months and do it later. I understand they wanted to match it with the seasons, but like so that solo queue players are not as pissed, but like, come on, man. This is so bad for competitive integrity and for just like it's just so frustrating that in the middle of the split, you have to learn a new like you have to start from fresh. All the progress that you made, 80% of it you have to throw that in the trash because things are going to change and you might be like, "Oh, it's not big enough that this is going to change it." No, like there are so the coaches have like so many different scenarios of like, okay, this is what we do first grab, second grab. What if this? What if that? How do we trade? How do we do this? All of that is like all that learning that we spent the past like 6 months doing is just or 5 months doing is just in the trash because the meta everything is going to change. Lane swaps already changed so much, and now we're changing even more. Like it is so frustrating as a fan of a team that is like building pieces and I see them consistently improving and I see them working on things to know that like the next few weeks the game could just be different and we could suck all over again on the things we spent the past 3 months working on.
I will say, like, I'll be interested to see how C9 do in terms of, like, I actually think it's the changes are whatever for our team specifically, because, like, okay, you have one less rotation to do, and we already have winning solo lanes, and a bot lane that's just happy to scale anyways, and you have like a roaming support. So, like, how much is it really going to change on our end?
It changes a lot. I'll
Not.
give you an example. Like if you're planning on swapping for second grubs, right? Like you're going to be at a certain power spike, right? Like if you're a bot lane, right? You know your matchup, you know how much mana you can use in certain waves, you know which wave you want to crash and base in. You in general, you have all of that mapped out, right? You know the matchup. All of a sudden now if they're asking you to swap instead of at 4 minutes, you're swapping at 6 minutes or you're swapping like at a different time, that changes your recalls, that changes like the maybe you can't play the matchup that long. Maybe now you have to lose the matchup because otherwise you're not going to have enough mana and then they're going to get the first push because they can like it will change things. We might not see it. It might be small, but like every small thing adds up. And maybe Team Liquid's just better at that. And all of a sudden it's a Team Liquid buff and now they're like top 2 instead of being like top 4, right? And people were like, "Oh, Team Liquid got things
Yeah.
together." It's like maybe the meta just like got better for them.
I think compositionally, like, I'm not fast with the changes really to like how we're gonna play, because like, even with like, yeah, okay, the timers you have to work on based on like listening to our comms, that's not gonna really be a problem. Like, we've got really like good ideas, and I actually like, it's hard to say how much he's had an impact, but I actually think having Dom as like this outside perspective has been really helping this team. And like, weirdly, he's been saying all they've been doing is implementing what LCK and LPL does into like their gameplay, which I felt like found interesting because historically, when does that ever work? Like emulating
Yeah.
what Korea do? But he's trying to. What he's been saying is trying to teach them about things that not no Western team like does,
I mean,
and
they have a
like
lot of
adding it to the
Koreans, right?
gameplay.
So it might come a little more natural to them.
Yeah. Mm. I think I think it's going to impact Thanatos a lot, but in like a positive way. Like, this dude is going from like strength to strength, and like if you actually watch his like post game like cams, he's actually getting like hype now, and he feels like he has a bit more of like a personality to him, and like he's like raising his arm, he's like getting all excited.
I mean, he's like I said, I think his stream also does really well. Like I remember when he first started streaming, I was like the only person chatting in his stream, and now it's like there's like over 1,000 people there. It's really nice to see. Like that, he is definitely developing his like brand and his personality.
He's getting there. He's getting there. Oh, having content on him as well really helps.
Yeah, he's comfortable enough to like go out there and speak English with the C9 guys. It's nice. I have a complaint, okay? Blabber has played with so many Korean players dating back from like actually no, not so many cuz He had Reaper, but then he actually never got to play with Impact and Ray. That was contracts that year, right? 2017.
Yeah.
And then 2018, it was Svenskeren. Okay. I was about to say, at some point, man, just bite the bullet and learn Korean. Like, it will improve your team so much. Like, imagine if the top side could all like communicate in Korean,
I
like
think
going into post
he
games.
understands the basics because if you remember when the LS um, roster happened, him and Fudge were actually taking Korean lessons.
That was
So
2021. Or 2022. I don't know. I don't know if he's, but like at
I think
some
it's like
point he should just like be comfortable enough to speak in Korean.
maybe, but
I just feel like it's such a big buff. Like it would be so cool, like him being able to like go after game and review with Thanatos or with Loki and be like, oh, we could have done this, we could have done that, and like Loki's like, what the hell is this guy saying? He's just like, oh, and he just says it in Korean. Or like Loki might be in the middle of a fight with Blabber 2v2, and he can tell him he can just say it in Korean and Blabber understands it. I don't know. I maybe I'm just being like nitpicky, but if you play with Koreans for like half your career, at some point, just come on, learn it, man.
mm. I think like the thing is that like all the Koreans he has played with outside of Summit, and even to a degree, he's English improved pretty quickly in his short time with C9. Like their English has always been like pretty good. Like watching your one of Loki, he's improved so much in like such a short space of time.
I need to find out what he's smoking. Like there is something that he's doing. Not smoking, like whatever lessons. There's just no way. I don't understand how a person can improve that much in that short of a span when he has a full
I
time job.
like, and then when I try to learn a language, I'm like taking 20 years just to learn a couple of phrases. It's like, how are these people learning the language within like 5 minutes?
I know it is. It is making me jealous. Um. Oh, do you want to try ranking each team's coaching staff? That would be interesting. That would be fun to do.
I don't even know where I would even begin.
I would say probably in the order that it that the teams are in. I think Team Liquid are fourth because clearly something's going wrong and they can't fix it. I think 100 Thieves are third because this team should not be third. Like this team, so many times it's like, how are they winning these games? How are they constantly like making it to finals and outperforming, exceeding expectations? Like the coach is doing something right. And then I think
Hmm.
FlyQuest second. I think FlyQuest losing Demonte, I think actually affects this team more than they maybe realized. But I think time will tell. But I have to give Cloud9 first. The amount of improvement from week one of spring split to today is enormous. This team has like improved so much. I was just talking about Thanatos like completely and entirely being lost with the team, and now he's just like a key factor. They've found their way to like play with this guy. Like what you were saying, how like I Will Dominate is helping now and trying to bring in like Korean and LCK ideas, and they're actually like merging them and playing them and like consistently applying them well. This team is like consistently improving their scrims. They take the scrims as more serious than everybody else. It's showing in their game days. Like they're the transformation to me, I think it's more of like a coaching staff. Obviously, kudos to the players for like doing it, but the fact that the players got that information, I'm assuming wasn't from themselves. It was from Rebird being like, hey, what do we want to do here? I Will Dominate being like, hey, this is idea. Vegar V2 saying, hey, let's do this. And Nero, like, even like saying, why don't we play these champions? Like, this coaching staff is phenomenal. It's working much better than I thought it would. I was sad to see that they were like, there were rumors like Vagar V2 is not going to resign. I was like, okay, that's going to hurt. Vagar V2 had complained on Twitter, I think publicly, about like, why the hell did my team pick this? That's not what we signed up for. He's remote. And then like, it's just Reaper by himself. They brought in an Arrow and people were like, what the hell? Like, this guy's a GM. He's not actually a coach. Why'd they bring him in? High is gone. Like, but yeah, I was wrong. They Cloud9 know what they're doing.
Shout out to their ability to actually scout well, because Loki's working better than anything I ever imagined. Because like when we first saw Loki, a lot of people were saying, why wasn't like there's talks of like Saint. Oh, who's the other one? There's another young LCK challenger mid laner. I think it may have been the KT one that no one was allowed to get.
Oh, you're right. There was a third one.
Um,
Alex? No, no. I can't remember, but yeah, there was a third one. You're right.
yeah, and like there was Zinni, that was it.
Zinni, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and like there was like the floating hopium of like BDDs available, and like, but the one thing I can say from like speaking to them and like just what you like can see on their content and stuff, like he just fits this team like a glove in terms of like his work rate, like how much this guy absolutely grinds the game. Um, they would have sold on this kid from day one, and like apparently I can't verify this, but like when I was in like the C9 Discord the other day, they were saying like fans apparently said on stream that like Saints just attitude's just not the best.
Well, Reaper actually he didn't say it word for word, but he said when we were scouting between Saint and Loki, he found that Loki's attitude is what C9 wanted, which is kind of saying like, oh, Saint doesn't have the attitude that we want. But maybe it's reading into it a little bit, but he basically kind of said that, yeah.
It's like the thing is that Saint had like there was multiple options. Like a lot of teams were interested in Saint, and like, my question always was, why did he end up on 9? Like when there was like decent to top out like LEC team like that. I think in one of the Sheep Esports articles, like Fnatic was touted in there. Like C9, obviously, we're looking at him. So why did he like? Obviously, Humanoid is like a tough player to kind of like shift out without like a very very good replacement.
Yeah,
But
that doesn't make sense financially
like,
for them.
yeah, not only that, it's like, um, I lost my train of thought. Like, there's reasons he wasn't picked up by a bad team, and like even if he's looked impressive, there's probably reasons why teams like top teams weren't picking it up.
I don't I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, like let's look at least in NA. Team Liquid had already signed extensions going into World Championship for their mid laner and their AD carry. So Team Liquid's not an option. Quad was, in my opinion, the best performing mid laner going into in summer. He just won a championship. You're not replacing him. Cloud9 was the only like Quid was like MVP last year as well. He looked great. So I think the top teams in NA didn't really want to get rid of their mid laner. The only team was Cloud9, obviously with JoJo. So like when
Mm-hmm.
Cloud9 doesn't pick him, I don't know that he can make a top team in NA. Now EU, like I think they have really good mid laners as well. And like Fnatic and G2 already locked in contract with their mid laner. And then you have who like Koi, Mad Lion brought in JoJo. There's that. Like maybe they could have looked for Saint, but I think they wanted someone who could actually speak English because he'd be the only Korean. They had literally no Korean on their staff. And then like KC is the only other team they could look at that maybe could have picked up a Korean, but they already have Kana, so maybe it would have made a little bit of sense. I don't think he had that many options, to be honest, besides Cloud9.
But
And I think like what you were saying, the
hindsight's
fact that people
wonderful.
were saying that
Again,
maybe his personality is bad probably made it like if I'm KC and I'm like, oh, I have this like amazing rookie, or I could bring someone who's like better at that time, right? Better than him, but has attitude issues, and I see my rookie's improving and he doesn't have attitude issues, I'm just gonna stick with my rookie, right? It could be a little scary. When
it's
people have
something
like
C9 would have done in
persona.
the past.
What?
I said it's something C9 would have done in the past. Like
With Eminez,
to like
yeah.
yeah, like even like last year, like it's something they would have done. Like, yeah, he's maybe a bit problematic, but Jack always had this thing. Even if he never said it, he always gave me the impression of like a I can fix him type person.
Yeah, like our systems will make it work.
Mm.
Oh, actually, Irwin is saying that maybe Thanatos, because like they Cloud9 had Thanatos, and maybe they Thanatos didn't want to play with Saint, or maybe Thanatos knew something and he was like, "Oh, don't um like I'd rather play with Loki, for example."
Uh, I I am not allowed to speak on that topic.
Oh, okay, okay. I won't put you into any trouble.
But like, I think they just did a much better job this year scouting who do they want, how, because the team aligns with one another in terms of like how they play. Like, sure, you could say like Sven has ego, but truthfully, if you if you deep down asked him, he's just happy to be here. Like, in terms of like he gets an opportunity to win again. When after that dig year, you probably aren't looking at like you're not looking hopeful.
I think I actually just want to make a random comment, but the that Damwon Kia like 2023 roster gave us Thanatos, Saint, and Lucid. Like three amazing rookies that came through.
Mhm.
That's dude, that's a lot of talent.
I'm so
um
glad Francis is performing well now
yeah.
because I think people had this. I think Summit kind of broke the perception of what dominant top laners looks like because Summit has what Summit was doing. I don't think we'll ever see in this league again. Like that initial like regular season run he had with C9, where he was completely murdering people, and like there was so much hype in like Champions Queue where like Summit was going like 10-0 in every lane, and like he was making like players like Wuppo look absolutely scared out of his mind in lane before he got found out.
I
And I
mean, we
think people
saw
were kind of
Huni when
expecting
Huni came in
Thanatos.
2016. I think that was also like he was absolutely gapping everybody. So I think in
Yeah,
modern like times, yes, I think what he did, what Summit did was just
I
like
think people had like the expectation that that's what Thanatos was going to come and do because people were like realistically, yeah, this kid should not be a C9. It was LCK politics that kind of kept him
yeah.
out of like that. LCK politics kept him out of competing on a top team because they were literally touting him as like the next upcoming top laner in the LCK.
I think it's kind of like what happened with Bo, where if it wasn't for politics, Bo would just like have been winning titles with like
It
imagine
was
he's
literally
on
because the
BLG right now. Like he's
it
just
was
winning
literally because the
titles.
Dan One ADC didn't want too many rookies on the team, and then that went to shit.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. Like, same thing happened with Bo. Like, obviously, he ended up not panning out the way people wanted him to, but clearly he was a generational talent. But politics are a thing, and Berserker kinda. It wasn't because of politics. It was more because like you had an inside guy, but like Berserker could have been on like T1 instead of
I
maybe
mean,
not
I bet
T1, but
he's
like
looking at us now and feeling pretty upset with his
yeah, poor
decisions.
guy, dude. He's like trying his best. He's trying his heart out.
The thing is, I like hindsight's a wonderful thing. I actually wouldn't take him back now over Sven
I
because
agree.
this roster has shown me that like he wanted the game to be played in a certain way, and it just doesn't align with how this roster needs to play. Like he wasn't the guy that was just gonna sit under turret and be completely fine. Like he wanted to be the guy, and he didn't. He doesn't need like this ADC like state right now. You don't need to be.
I I I think so too. Like you don't have to be Yon, right? You don't have to be Berserker. I do think Berserker kind of fell off, but it could be also environment. I
I think it was environment, and I think it was the weight of like he is like genuinely. If you had like peak environment for Berserker, this guy just collapsed the entire league.
You know what was
But
frustrating with Berserker? He was clearly the best player on Cloud9 in 2023 summer. He was like actually like the only reason they were in that finals. And for some reason, they weren't all playing around Berserker. Like, you have to identify our AD carry is like actually smurfing. Let's like play around him. And they just like stuck to their game plan. And 2024, like when he wasn't smurfing, I understood. But then come summer, he was playing so well. And then again, it was just like what Erwin's saying is like maybe they just had too many mouths to feed and like not enough food for people. So like it ended up going to JoJo or ended up going to Thanatos and like or to Blabber, and Berserker just never got to 1v9 like he did back in 2022.
I think it doesn't help that you only had one coach as well, so you had no
Yeah.
extra layers to like the thing. So like now we have four coaches, and we have players that are openly, willingly listening to coaches' feedback. Because I promise you, like you could have like a dig roster, for example. If they were like all aligned with how they want to play the game, they may not be the best players, but I promise you they would be pushing the top four. Like it's not all about have you got the best hands, but a lot of the time no player is like aligned with how they want to play, and I think that's like the fortunate thing that this C9 roster has. I didn't think Blabber could be coachable until this split. Like I genuinely like this guy. I genuinely thought this guy has too much of an ego. He's never gonna like change. But when you're seeing him actually just actively picking Vi every game, you know there's a good sign of where this team is heading.
Yeah, I think I actually asked him about like scrims because I heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Cloud9 was like absolutely dominating scrims," and I was like, "Why is it different now?" And he was like, "Well, I'm taking it a lot more serious. I used to do a little bit of trolling. I would get bored, and now I'm like
Oh,
taking it more seriously." And I'm like, "Well, okay." Like he's
the
actually
thing,
like improving and learning
but
from
the thing is, that's the
Dom.
thing as well, because like inting isn't funny. And I think like if you actually watch like Dom's stream, he's not laughing when Blabber's making like stupid plays. It's like he gets annoyed because though like you don't need to be making these dumb mistakes that teams just laugh off. They're not making like if you actually watch their comms now, they're not laughing about it. Before they'd probably like joke around with stuff. But I've not watched a single game where I thought they're taking they're taking liberties with like, the game. They're just smashing them in like 28 minutes
Yeah,
every single game.
I will say Blabber or Sven said that they had won every single scrim except for two last week, and it was to us Shopify. So we're if we can beat Cloud9 in
Oh, he said
scrims,
you. He said you dropped. No. He said they dropped two maps. Like the most maps they dropped was to you.
he said we only dropped two games the whole week.
Hmm.
And then Blabber even said
You
something
know,
very
like
similar when I asked him.
so that you're not like the series, but like Shopify actually. And then they apparently they had like a team meeting, and they're like, "Guys, what we doing?" And then there's like a 93% win rate for that week is absurd.
Yeah.
I can't wait until we get like 2020 vibes where teams are blacklisting us again from.
Because you're destroying their mental.
I've never seen a team at dominant, by the way. Like, not even TSM was getting blacklisted. Like the dominant 2016 I can win worlds TSM. Like these teams in 2020 were genuinely refusing to play C9 because they didn't want to break their mental.
I mean, they weren't learning. Like they were just getting rolled over. Like you don't learn anything.
True.
At least for
Who do you think
Shopify.
gonna?
Was it?
Let's talk on. Oh, we'll talk about Shopify. We've spoken too much about my team.
Yeah, no, just like with Shopify, even though we're like losing, we only won 2 games and it was against like bottom tier teams. If you look at the change from like week 1 to now from when Seus came, like I am so much happier with how we are playing, how we're playing the map. Like we were dropping so many waves on the side lanes, and it's like it's looking better. And like there's so many things that are improving that it actually like makes me think, oh, we can be a top 4 team. Like maybe not come this playoffs, but like we can be a scary threat come next playoffs, which is something like I don't think any other team can say. I don't think you can look at like DSG and be like they beat Team Liquid, they're going to be scary come like next play. I don't think you can do that. Even for Lion, it doesn't look like they're improving. They kind of stayed where they were. You could say Dig improved their early games, but they still like have way too many problems. And I think the fact that we're consistently improving and we have like, dude, Seus is so clean mechanically. Every single time he's tested mechanically, he wins the test. Against Team Liquid, Nefiri was like trying to go in, get the kill, and then use her invulnerability. The last frame that he could, he lands the knock up, kills the Nefiri. Like when we were playing against you guys, I think, and you had the Talia. Like he was constantly like finding angles on Talia, pushing Talia off her wall. Like he was playing so well. He's still playing so well mechanically. I think Bevo and Ezreal has looked really good. I think Fudge has improved so much since like the last split, especially the last 4 or 5 games. He's looked actually like improving. You can see the improvement from game to game on different champions too. It's like so nice to see because it's one of the things that we talked about with Cloud9 last year, how like they're just not improving. And it's so frustrating because it's like at some point teams are going to catch up to you because there are other teams that are improving. And that's like Shopify might be one of those teams that's improving that could knock down 100 Thieves, that could knock down a Team Liquid if they're slumping, or maybe even if they're not slumping, you know? Like it's nice to see your team consistently improving on the things that they identify as issues and talk about it in interviews. So I'm again, we're not number 1. You have a lot more reason to be happy, but I'm happy with our improvement. It looks like we're going an upward trajectory, and like there are a lot of teams that are you guys as well, but there are a lot of teams that are either stagnating or like going down, like Team Liquid. And I'm just happy to be on the up and up.
I think like it's hard because I come from a position of I always have like the championship expectation, but like if I'm being truthful, I think it's hopeful thinking even with like TL looking meh in regular season that any team can shake up the top 4 in a playoffs. I think I think there's just a gigantic gap. Like, come the best of 5, like maybe best of 3, you need to start taking games. Like in this best of 3, who's in your group? Is it FlyQuest 100 Thieves?
No, no, wait. I think it's yeah, FlyQuest 100 Thieves, and we have Dig. Wait, do we not have Team Liquid?
No, we have Team Liquid.
That's right, we have
We have
100 Thieves. Oh, because they
TL.
won. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the evolution for you guys is to now take a game off one of them 2 teams. Like if you really want to start, like I ain't convinced until we start seeing them pushed more, because I think while like you may say it is improvement, I genuinely just believe there's such a gigantic gap between the top 4 and the bottom 4 come crunch time that I'm not really hopeful. But
Mm-hmm.
then again, I haven't, like, to be honest, I haven't watched all of your games, so I can't definitively say like, yeah, you're improving, because a lot of the Shopify games are like the worst time of the day or like of the night for me. Like
Yeah, we had
I
3
often get to
games
watch
3 days in a row where it was like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. It was like the last game of the
like for
day.
me. Yes, I mean like C9 for me has always been on first or second, so I get to watch that and then I'll head out. But I'll believe there's changes in the top 4 when I see it.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I don't think we're there now, but I think Erwin made a great point. DSG being Team Liquid yesterday, a few days ago now, 2 days ago, means like literally any team can beat Team Liquid if they're not playing well. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of scary if you're Team Liquid, but again, like Impact was like one day we could be the worst, one day we can be the best. We're just inconsistent. So I
Mm.
I think that we can. Like I said, I'm not saying we're gonna make it top four in playoffs, this playoffs, but if this keeps going, and Revan like had a lot of great words to say about Demonte, and he was like, I didn't believe in like vibes and like positive like atmosphere 4 or 5 years ago, but like it's literally the best thing that could have happened to our team right now, and it's helping a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to what those two can cook up and the team. And like I said, I'm happy with we went 1-2 obviously, but we had like a disaster early game against Team Liquid, and we still like held on. We had a pretty good game against Honor Thieves. Like we lost, but we didn't roll over and die, which a lot of times happened, especially last split. So we're improving on like our macro, our fundamentals, our early game as well.
What's your assessment of Palafox?
Dude, okay. Last week, not this past weekend, but the week before, he had a game where like he was trying to make plays, and like he kept getting flamed, like get Palafox off, like Palafox is trolling in like an unnamed Discord. And I was just like, dude, what do you expect him to do? He's going in for the plays because the game's lost anyways. You want him to just like not lose and look good? He's never been that player. I think he's not where I want him to be. I still think that he should play better. Especially like in the team fights. I feel like I actually asked Revan about this. I was like, look, you brought in Palafox. You said, oh, you brought a playmaker mid lane, and you're sticking him on like freaking champions that can't make plays. What's the point? He was like, that's just the meta. Like we don't, there's not much for us to do. So
What champions was he being played on?
he played a lot of Aurora, which is like, you know, playmaking, sure. Um, but he's had games where he's just playing like he's had Azir games. He's had what's that other champion? He had a Jace game. Like you can't really make plays on Jace, right? Sure, he was
I
like
mean, like
trading kills
I'm
and stuff, but
seeing TL and like C9 and like 100 put like their players on like Talia and Azir.
he played
Like
Talia.
I'm
He
sorry,
was. I mean, he was the
that's
reason we almost beat FlyQuest. Like he found really good
that's
Talia
what I mean.
walls.
Like there's no reason why like I'm not buying the like why are you putting Palafox on Jace? Like you are actually asking to lose. Like I have no sympathy when you're putting these players on just the worst champs for their playstyle. Get him on. I don't know. I don't know how good it is anymore, but like if you want to get him on like the ASOL, Talia, all these champions that are just going to be in your face elsewhere, because that's what he was. Like one of the reasons they actually won the LCS is because Palafox was out of lane.
Yeah, I mean his Ari, his Nico, like those champions has always been really, really good on them. But hopefully we can see more. Like obviously, the other thing he said is like, look, it's best of ones. When we get to the best of threes, we'll be able to like flex a little bit more, especially since it's fearless. But right now, it's kind of hard to not draft optimally with things that you've practiced when those are the things that are working. You know.
Yeah,
SLJ is saying like they need more firepower. Well, that's the thing. Like if Fudge can continue to play better and Bvoy continues to play the way he is, we just need Palfox to step up a little bit. If he steps up a little bit, like we have enough firepower to definitely take on like APA and Impact right now. Like they're not playing that well. Like we can definitely take them down. Like maybe not Quid, but Sniper, sure. Like we can take on Sniper FBI. Like FBI is playing great, but so is Bvoy. I think that in terms of firepower, like we don't need roster changes to hit that top four. We just need to like continually improve. And I think Demonte, like whatever he's doing, like he might be the Palafox Whisperer. He just needs to keep on doing his stuff, and Palafox keeps getting better. And I legitimately think by summer, by split three, we can hit that top four. Obviously, because of the way it works, like matchups are a lot more complicated. It's not like a double round robin where you just like kind of show off your worth. So things could be a little funky.
yeah.
But even if we're not number four, we'll be like a fourth best team, if not third.
Uh I respect your optimism.
Of course, I gotta be optimistic about my team, man. I'm not gonna be like, oh, like
Yeah,
especially when we're finally showing signs of life. Like, when was the last time this happened? I don't even remember. Like when Boogie came back into the roster, we were actually a top six team. It was quite frustrating because we
yeah.
were definitely better than NRG. We were definitely better than Dig. We beat Dig, but because our record was so bad with Tomio, it is what it is. I'm salty.
I just think like as much as like it's kind of hyped that it's a top four, like it just feels so depressing for the bottom four teams, in my opinion. Because if because now you're getting into like the LTA North versus LTA South like type of like arguments of like they took literally one game out of what was it 14? What was the stat line?
No, no, it was 1 out of 9.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, my math's not mathing.
Yeah, because we played 4 best of 3s, right? And only one of them went the distance. So instead of 8 games, it was 9.
Mm. I it just feels so depressing. Like it's just half these games boring, like literal beatdown boring games.
Well, because you're watching Cloud9 games. Like if you watch like
No, no,
FlyQuest
not even
versus
not
us
even
or T.
C9. Like 100 Thieves, it's boring in like a different way. Like I never for a second, whenever they had these like disadvantages, like that they were gonna lose, I knew they were gonna turn it around like every single time. And it's like I like maybe it's a format thing, maybe it's a like team thing. I don't know. It's just I haven't this year really felt like I've enjoyed like LTA like that much. Maybe once the BO breeze start, like will make it feel better.
I think you will. Um, I also think like last year in summer it felt like that. There was a top 3 team and like a bottom 5. Um, so like and then 100 Thieves broke that, and it was kind of hype. Obviously not for you because you're a Cloud9 fan, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again this year. Like, oh, there's a top 14, bottom 4 team, and then one of us, hopefully Shopify, break that mold. And then it's like, oh my God, we didn't expect this to happen. Also, to SLJ, what you're saying, like, I agree with you that LTA South, if they don't win a single series against LTA North, should not have a spot, a guaranteed spot. But if you listen to what Mark Z said, he's literally like, we gave them a guaranteed spot because they're not good enough to earn one, and we want them to be represented as part of the LTA. So that's why. Maybe if they start like splitting 50-50, we'll make all 3 spots open for everybody. But as of right now, they're guaranteed a spot because they're a lot worse than we are.
I will. So like just gonna like round off like everything. I never realized how depressing it was that we have 3 international events, but we send less NA teams than we did last year.
Yeah. We have I know we have more international events and we're sending less teams in more
Like
events.
last year we
It's
sent 5, and this year we sent 4, and there's one extra event.
yeah.
But this is not if you're not even including Esports World Cup, because like if you're counting Riot only sanctioned events,
Well, Esports World Cup will be able to send 2 anyways, so it won't even make a difference. It'll still be like less either way.
yeah, it's just depressing.
Honestly, for MSI, like it's just not. It feels so bad to like. Okay, KC made it to the finals, but like before the year started, we had performed better than EU, and they still get 2 seeds, and we get one. We get 1 seed removed from 2 different tournaments. Whereas their second seed hadn't done anything. Our second seed did. Our first team did something. Their first seed didn't do anything. Okay, I guess they did an MSI, so I'll take that back. But it's just like it's so frustrating. And like, sure, we don't have the viewership, so obviously you're gonna prefer to have a Fnatic there than a Team Liquid. or a Fnatic versus FlyQuest, like you take Fnatic and G2 every single time. They just have bigger fan bases, or KC or whatever. But like in terms of gameplay, I don't know, man. We definitely deserve that third spot. Just take it from, just open up an extra spot. Like even if it's oh we have to fight against their second seed, I would be down. Like if going to MSI, the South have a guaranteed seed, the North have a guaranteed seed, and then there's like a third seed that has to play between NA and EU to get that second seed. I would be down for that, but I don't think Riot or EU would like that. So
It's just like, to be truthful, everything just about LoL esports feels depressing.
it's a sad time to be. Yeah, I agree, but
So
I think we
like,
can make it out of here alive. I know a lot of people are saying we're not. It's just gonna die, but I think we can make it out alive.
I think the problem is I'm becoming less and less aligned with it each day. With like, just the amount of crap they spew, like in these like these LTA updates, like talking about viewership and talking about like
Yeah,
all rubbish and like trying to reason why they can't do like they need to firstly completely separate League from Valorant. I why so like so the Valorant playoffs is going on this week, so that means the LTA is back in the closet.
yeah. I was just about to make that point. I
Like, why is that a thing?
mean, cost
Like,
saving.
why? Like, sure, but I would rather they have their own their own venues. Even if the LTA one was like a downsized one, give me a stage every single week that the fans can go and like tune into. Like, why are we having these dull, like lifeless? Like, the players even said that they actually put in all like crowd music, crowd noise into like that little box that they're in.
Yeah, I I think until our teams start and players take more responsibility over their brands and over like how they want to be portrayed and like actually develop more fan bases, it's just going to get worse. And I think teams and pros are starting to understand, hey, maybe I should stream. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do more things so that
I mean,
financially it
the
makes
LTA can't
sense.
even recognize the difference between Thanatos and Loki, but
Dude, that is the dumbest thing ever. I swear, I know I've seen a lot of people complain about it, but like there's a guy who's an intern who's just tagging pictures. Like the guy is like taking pictures. He's overworked doing like 3 4 different things and he messes up Korea. Like look, if you don't have Korean friends, like it's not racism if you just don't know. And the amount of people are like, "Oh, they're being racist." Like he can't tell the difference. He's trying his best. Just give the guy a break. I'm so
I
like
think you can mistake it once, but the fact that it happened twice and then it was on like broadcast and apparently they were like joking like about it, I think is what like upset a lot of people.
I mean, what are you supposed to be like? How dare you do such a thing? Like the amount of okay, just so you know, the amount of like Koreans, because I interact with them a lot, who are like, oh, we can't actually tell like white people apart, especially in movies. Like it takes us a while because like we're not used to seeing them. It's not a matter of racism. It's a matter of like my eyes are not used to this thing. It's like you're hearing a new language. You just don't know it. And it's like so frustrating when they like some people are making it such a bigger deal than it should be. It's like, dude, the guy made a mistake. He doesn't. The guy probably doesn't even like watch League of Legends. It's probably just his job, and the fact that he can already identify most of the players is like good enough. Yes, teach him to like not make the same mistake, but going out and calling the guy racist, like that's just stupid.
Oh, and like I went too far on it, but like I think it is just bad how this has happened twice.
Yeah,
Like it's just It's so dumb. Like, I'm
It's
not saying you
happened
can
more than
excuse
twice,
the
by the way.
first
At
time.
Worlds, it happens all the time, especially with Vietnamese players, because you don't watch them, you don't know, like they look kind of similar to you. You can't tell differentiate them. It happens. I just
Yeah.
when it happens, you fix the mistake and you move on. Like I don't know, man.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, Riot having like their HQ in California, that's always going to be an issue. Like you could run two different stadiums in Chicago for the price that they're doing right now in California with the viewership. Like you would need so much less sponsorship money and everything to run in Chicago than in Cali. But the fact that you're doing it in Cali means you have to have even a higher bar of entry. And like that obviously hurts, which means our pros need to do even more to work on their brand, teams to like hype people up, to get them coming. I think look, if we had like constant tailgates and like watch parties and they're always full, like Riot could then be like, oh, we could actually sell these tickets for more. We could sell more, like a bigger stage and stuff like that for every week. That's one thing. But if we're not doing that, like if it's not like NFL, if it's not like the NBA, where like you constantly have people coming and watching and sponsors and all that stuff, then it's just hard to justify. So like I
Yeah.
know why they're doing it. They can't justify the money, but at some point you need to find a way to get there. And if you're not taking the steps to get there, then it's like, okay, what are you doing?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't see teams turning it around anytime soon. Like, whether it was like an agreed upon like good thing or not, the stream scrims thing died as quickly
I'm
as it
so
started.
pissed at that. Yeah.
I'm not even pissed because I completely saw that coming. And like reportedly, like eh, like the near airport stuff, like they're barely doing anything. Let's be real. Like they did some content, but if you actually look at their numbers compared to what you like, so like obviously the initial tweets and video stuff is always going to get like a lot more like traction. If you look at some of the tweets, they're like scraping 20 to 30 sometimes, and it's like,
20 to
has it
30
already?
views on their tweets?
No, like likes, like
Oh. I mean, I
the
just look at their
like interaction
YouTube
stuff.
because that's like where people pay with their attention, right? Like, look at their YouTube. Like, they're
Hmm.
constantly like every single one of their channels is like getting 20 to 30K, like maybe 15K on the first day, and they're consistently like, I don't know. I think for the project and how like scuffed it is, they're doing great. Like right now, they're streaming. They're getting good views. Like Double Lift has 4K. Pro Belter has
I think
2.6.
they're playing at the
Speak.
moment, or may have just finished playing.
Oh, are they playing? Okay.
I think they had an NACL
Yeah,
game.
I think they actually just finished because
Again,
I had seen Croissant earlier as well streaming, and maybe what's his name? Well, Speaker is streaming. Um, but yeah, I think overall, like for their goals, they're pretty successful. At least that's what I think. I don't know. I don't follow them on
we'll
Twitter,
see.
so
Mm.
I
I
want
think it's for
Shopify to
like
stream the skims, man. I should have asked Revan. Like he said, okay. Here's a little bit of drama. FlyQuest Bwipo was like, nobody wants to scrim us on stream. And then I asked Palafox, and he was like, yeah, we were down. I'm just not sure why it didn't happen. And then I tweeted that out, and Papa Smithy was like, some players were for it, some players were against, but overall, it just didn't, like, the team didn't want to do it. And then I asked Revan, and Revan was like, we talked to FlyQuest, yo, we want to do this. Just can we figure out a specific day where Ludwig and Charlie can co stream? And they didn't. Like they weren't being cooperative with it, and they were just like going on social media crying about it. And he was like, we wanted to do it. And I was just like,
well,
okay.
so I don't know how like where the discussions like went. But so like during like the Korean off season, um, I think it may have been this recent split like between winter and spring. Like, I think apparently Dom was saying like I think you could have had like a C9 and Los Ratones like stream scrim.
Didn't Riot block it?
No, they blocked the EU. like
Oh, that's right. It was
one.
Ginex.
So like
Yeah.
C9 apparently like offered, but apparently Lost Returns didn't really seem that interested. And
Yeah. Ooh.
like, okay, let's be real. Let's be real. They would get 6-0'd by
Yes,
C9.
but still, yeah, I guess that makes
Like,
sense.
actually, if you deep it for a second, the level of the two teams, like, and like, yes, you make jokes about NA. Like, C9's a top NA team. They would absolutely slam Los Fatones.
It wouldn't even be close. Yeah, they would 7-0 them in a 6-game series. I agree with you.
So like, maybe it's not the best content, but like, do you imagine the views? Like, C9 versus Los Fatones, like Sven versus Reckless in bottom lane.
Dude, if I'm reckless and I'm Nemesis, I'm like, I'm not playing those scrims. I'm not ruining my reputation. Like Nemesis is like, oh, he's still as good as Caps, right? And like he goes and he loses to like this no name Korean, like Loki, not even like the most hyped Korean that came from challengers, and it's like, maybe. Oh, just because you hit challenger in Korea doesn't mean you're that good.
But look,
I can
that
see
would have
why
been.
there's.
It would have been. But like for Valio, that would have been good. Like to get a scrim against Blabber. Like that would have been like a really good experience for him. I
Yeah,
mean, it would have been a hard jungle gap, but hey ho.
I, it's like when Cloud9 go and they scrim T1 against Owner, and like Blabber's like, okay, I thought I was good. Turns out I am not.
No, dude, I've always heard from C9 they're actually a very good international scrim team. Apparently, they always like bitch slap the LPL teams, and then they go on stage and they're like, they don't play like this at all.
They've been good at against LPL teams. They've always been like their face
So apparently,
rolled
again, when they
against
played,
Korean
apparently
teams.
they had a positive record against Humble Life, but apparently it's because Pete was absolutely, I don't know what he was on, but he was on something apparently that series where Blabber was just apparently just destroying him every game.
Oh, this split. I'm talking about historically, not
Oh
this
yeah.
split's different. This split, yeah, they were doing well. That's what I heard.
I really want to see us like we'll close this off. I really want us to go to an international this year.
I hope so too. I actually want to see Cloud9. I want to see Cloud9, FlyQuest, and Shopify. I don't really want to see Team Liquid. They embarrassed us at a little too much. Sorry, like I love the team. I want to see Impact like win another championship. I want to like I like Impact a lot, but yeah, sorry. Like you can't. You did that to yourself. We didn't do that to you.
Hmm. Yeah, it'd be a rough one.
Yeah. Anyways, you got anything you want to shout out? Any interviews you got, or like articles you've written, or anything?
Uh, no, just maybe shout out the C9 boys. Like, just keep it going because like I think they're doing much better than I think anyone anticipated. Like, it finally feels nice to have what we call a team now. Like before, it's like for a while, even when we was winning, it's just a group of individual players. But now we actually have like a team again, and it finally feels nice.
I agree. The vibes have been really nice with C9, even before they started winning. Like even last split. Um, for
Mm.
myself, I'll shout out my Revan interview, my Fudge interview, my Impact interview. Those are really cool. And then I am going to be scrimming. I'm scrimming with like a team. We're trying to find a top laner. We have tryouts, and then when we find a top laner, we're gonna be playing tournaments. So we're kind of scrimming right now. I'm excited. Like, dude, league with voice comms and competitive is so much more fun. I'm having a lot of fun playing. So I just want to keep playing. Tomorrow night around this time, actually, I'll be scrimming. So if you guys want to watch my stream and bully me, because I was getting bullied a lot, but I've improved, so I'm not getting bullied as much. I will say that much. I've improved a lot over the past few weeks. So, yeah, just shout out to my coach who was in chat a while ago. Um, he's uh he's pretty cool. He's smart about the game, and yeah, that's it. See you guys next week.